But Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Fence Princess, SoundCloud, SoundCloud, No Name Supreme, is Kill for Kill, Upper Echelon, uh, Mr. Tanaka, and all my other subscribers out there, new subscribers, old subscribers. What's happening? Let's get into this whole big ups to Supreme. He sends me all kind of links on basketball, even in my like plant videos. It'll be nothing but basketball, comments. I'm like, okay. But nonetheless, one of the links he sent me was about Steph Curry. So I'm going to talk about Mr. Curry. And before I get into what I'm going to say, let's listen to an excerpt I found on World Star Hip Hop talking about the situation. All right, what do you got, bro?
Agreed in principle. Steph Curry's agent, Jeff Austin of Octagon, they just agreed in principle with the Warriors on the richest contract in NBA history. 5 years, $201 million, and no player option after the fourth year. So Steph Curry commits to the full 5 years in Golden State, and he has crossed that threshold of the first $200 million a year player in the NBA.
I whistle because that's a big number, but when we were talking earlier today, this has been the presumption all along that this organization has been working off of, that this would happen, correct?
Absolutely. And Steph Curry, remember, was on a 4-year, $44 million deal.
Bargain.
The most underpaid athlete in all professional sports based on the last deal he signed when he had the ankle problems. So now Golden State, they turn their attention to Andre Iguodala.
Where do they stand?
Iguodala's meeting with the Spurs tonight, but my sources tell me Iguodala called the Spurs to set that meeting up. The Spurs right now don't have necessarily a great interest in being aggressive with Iguodala, but they took the meeting. Iguodala is clearly trying to create a market beyond Golden State for himself right now. Golden State wants to re-sign Iguodala. The reason Kevin Durant hasn't signed his extension yet is he's going to allow them to have some cap space to be able to keep Iguodala. But right now I'm told in Golden State, if Iguodala starts heading for the door and he's going to leave, Golden State is now putting its focus potentially on Rudy Gay, who's coming off a severe knee injury, expected to be ready for training camp. But Kevin Durant has been talking with Rudy Gay. They have a relationship back to DC.
DMV guys, yeah.
And so Golden State wants Andre Iguodala back. And Golden State's management has told me repeatedly in the last week, they are willing to go. They expect to be in luxury tax for the foreseeable future. They're going to spend to keep this group together. But if Iguodala decides he wants a bigger deal elsewhere, Rudy Gay is a player that they try to bring in to replace him.
This whole conversation, but I wanted to listen to all that because I knew he was going to say some very pivotal things that that was going to make us reflect on the past and bring us up to date on the future. If I said that right, as in where basketball is going to go. Okay, who is surprised that Steph Curry got this huge contract? Nobody. Anybody surprised that he's got the largest contract so far? Not really. Why? Apex player, MVP, two-time champion, as far as I know. He's on the number one team right now. Nobody can really flex on that. And he is pivotal. Now, if he leaves, can Golden State still be in the position they are now? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Is he irreplaceable? No, he's not. As far as, okay, the reason why I say that, because when you look at Steph and when you look at LeBron, it's almost apples to oranges. It's not apples to apples. LeBron leaves, the team goes from championships to not even heard of, point blank. Steph Curry leaves, the team stays in championship contention. at least playoff contention last round. Okay? So is he a pivotal part of Golden State? Yes, he is. Does he deserve that money? Pretty much, yes, he does. But here's the thing. I'm going to go to the future first, then I'm going to go back. Here's the thing. Being that Steph Curry got that money, and then looking at the position he's in, where he is not the apex player on that team, Kevin Durant is. However, he is the marquee player on that team. Big difference. Okay? When you think Golden State, you don't think Kevin Durant. You think Steph Curry. Why does that make a difference? Because the way the NBA has set itself up. The NBA gets its revenues not only for ticket sales, but they get their revenue from TV money. When you think of Golden State, you're going to think of the number one player who has gotten them to either the championship or won a championship for the last 2-3 years. That is not Kevin Durant. Another reason, Kevin Durant might not be there for too long. Okay? Now, when you look at the Caps, okay, let me stick with the future before I get into cap space. Now, when you're looking at where basketball is going, even Stephen A. Smith said this on one of his, it was either a blog or one of his shows where he's just by himself, a podcast, I think. He was talking about how ridiculously priced and overpriced these pretty much actor basketball players are. He was like, is it all about money now? Now, mind you, they don't get that money from you, the consumer. They get that money from ad revenues. They do not need to negotiate with the NBA to get those maximum numbers. They need to negotiate with television, TV, ESPN, and all the cable channels. That's who they negotiate with to get that money. They make more money outside of the NBA than they do in the NBA. Contracts, Gatorades, hot dogs, car commercials, watches. That's where a lot of this money is coming from. So when you separate the two, you got to understand these contracts and why they're so colossal now. Okay? Let's get that, into view, because it's a gross amount of money that these guys are making. All right, now, sticking to the future of basketball, we're looking at a $201 million contract. Somebody's saying that Chris Paul can end up with a $230 contract. As a matter of fact, did he just, or was it Paul George who just got traded? Okay. Anyways, so these $200 million contracts, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Steph Curry might have got beat. And you guys are like, 201 mil, how did he get beat? Watch and see what happens within the next few months before the season starts. Watch and see who the next apex player is that is not a two-time MVP, does not have 2 championship rings, is not on the number one team. Watch and see what happens. What's going to happen is that $201 $201 million. It's so colossal I can hardly even say it. $201 million contract has opened the floodgates for other teams to watch their luxury tax and to wait and gather enough money to pay these other players this gross amount. And there's going to be about 5 players who are going to go over $200 million. And you can almost pick who they are. I'm telling you, Steph is going to get beat again. Because to me, he is the third most notable player right now. It's LeBron James 1, Kevin Durant 2, Steph Curry 3. He is in third place. But I'm telling you, when you look at that contract, you're going to have 4 other people who are going to make more money than he is. With it, I'm telling you, it'll probably happen within the next 2 months, if that long. Because now the floodgates are open. They're going to look at how they made that contract. Look, people, this is not the Sixers we're talking about. We're not talking about a team who hasn't done anything. We're not talking about the Knicks trying to keep Melo. We're not, you know what I'm saying, and getting rid of, ditching the two players on the teams that aren't even playing right now, and then acquiring somebody just to, make Melo happy. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about that. We're not talking about getting rid of Porzingis or somebody and making room for another big man. No, we're talking to somebody who is already on a winning team. We're talking to the number one team in the league. How are they making cap space for that? One way they're doing it is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is waiting for a couple months to get back into to get the contract that he really wants. It's a good chance he's going to stay with Golden State if his money is right. And I'm telling you, he's going to get a colossal amount. And when you add up these contracts, don't just look at it, you got to multiply by the year. You can't just say Kevin Durant got a 2-year contract for $54 million. He's not worth as much as Steph Curry. If Kevin Durant would have went 4 years at the same amount, guess who's getting paid more? Simple math. Kevin Durant still getting paid more. Last year, who got paid more, Kevin Durant or Steph Curry? Kevin Durant. As a matter of fact, Steph Curry got paid less than 4 other players on the team. I ain't even touched on Iguodala yet because he's about to play the whole system. And I already put a video out about that. He's about to get down with the whole system. But I'm just talking about Steph Curry himself. He is about to be upset. You think he's doing good because he just made history. But, it's just like when somebody figures out new technology and it's worth so much. Once everybody has that technology, it's just watered down. Everybody has a cell phone now. Very few people have home phones, or they have both. Remember when cell phones was costing a colossal amount and you were the man or the woman if you had one? Now everybody's got one. It's no big deal. I'm trying to tell you that this $200 million contract it's gonna be like it's just gonna be so flight by night. It's just going to be ridiculous what's about to happen in the next few months once everybody makes this cap space. This is just my opinion because I already see where this is going. I told you people that they don't really need you to watch the NBA. They don't really need us to watch the NBA. They don't. They don't need you to watch the NBA. That's what you think? You think the NBA needs you? No, you can sit at home. Listen, ticket sales can drop to 0. Guess what? They will still be getting paid. Why? Because you're still watching some sort of social media. You're watching some sort of cable. There's some sort of streaming technology that's coming into your home, your phone, your iPad, over your airways, somewhere where you are paying this game some mind, some kind of way. And when you tune in and listen to one of those games in some shape, form, or fashion, they are still getting paid because of the Nelson ratings. And I already explained the Nelson ratings. It's a whole new era, people. It's a whole new game. That's why. Listen, this is why these basketball players are so disconnected from the people. This is why, and this is the biggest problem. This is why these basketball players are idolized, which is dangerous. You don't idolize nobody. You can respect them, but you don't idolize anyone. But this is why they're pushed up into idol and God status. This is why people charge so much just to get anywhere near them. I could care less. I really could. I'd care less about meeting in here. I'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, fine. You make $200 million. $201 million. My whole family, 50 years back, will not come anywhere close to that. With all of our revenue counted. Actually, 200 years back, Won't even come close to that. And you're going to make it in what? 4 or 5 years? I'm just saying, people, you really got to look at it. What's happening is the game is moving away from the people. They don't need us. They really, really, really don't. Because you're still going to go to Target and buy a product that flashes up on the screen. They already know this. You're still going to buy that watch. You're still going to buy that car. It's still going to get bought. Okay? Why do you think Derrick Rose gets hurt all the time? I'm just going to switch up for a second and just throw that in there. Because he doesn't need to play to get the maximum amount. He doesn't. He doesn't need to play to get the money that he thinks he's worth. And he's figured it out. Okay? How many games has he played within the last 5 years? And then look at how much money he's made. I'm just going to leave that for you guys to think about. So we all think that he's hurt all the time. Remember when the Bulls was begging him to come back and he wouldn't come back? Then they finally got tired of him and traded him. Why? Because he maxed out his time for doing that. He's about to do it again. He's probably the smartest guy in the league if you really don't want to play. So I'm just telling you, people, the game is moving away from the people. These ridiculous contracts, you're going to see them all day. And Steph Curry is still getting underpaid, according to a sliding scale. Excuse me, or according to an average. If you look at the average Apex player and what they're getting paid, Steph Curry is still getting paid less than all those people. And he's done more than all of them. Steph Curry has done way more than Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant got paid way more than Steph Curry on his first contract with their team. How's that for ridiculousness? I'd be mad as fire if I was Steph. Even with a $201 million contract, I'd still be looking at them sideways. Because if that's over 4 years, for one, you're not even giving me the option to leave. You're telling me I have to be a franchise player, which means I can't go nowhere else and seek an even more maximum amount when Kevin Durant is about to take a pay, has reportedly taken a pay cut just so he can come back in a couple months from now and maximize his account. Maximize what he's worth. And he's going to be looking at Steph like, I still beat you. I came to your team, got MVP. I came to your team, got paid more than you did. Came to your team, and I'm still going to get paid more than you are. And it's your team. No. I'm just telling you guys, look at it in that light. Look at what Kevin Durant just got paid when he got there. You guys think Steph just got paid? I think Steph just got beat. It's your boy Tone 202. I'm telling you, the NBA is fixed. They don't care nothing about you. These games are not even worth watching anymore. It's not worth getting all in a hullabaloo about. You know, you guys want to go out here and get into a big brouhaha over who's doing what. You guys need to just relax and enjoy the show. Just, get some fish and chips, get your girl, chill out, watch the game. If they lose, so what? If they win, so what? Turn it off, go on and do what you're supposed to do in your life. That's way more important than getting excited about these games and these players that care not one damn bit if you watch the game or not. You, as an audience, simply do not matter anymore. It is not the game of basketball. It's cyberball. That's what this is. This is cyberball. Because the audience is cyber. They can care less. It's cyberball, people. It's your boy Tone 202. Let's see what else I got to say about this. Nothing. I think I'm done. Peace.